Available in paperback at e-readers, Isis, Dark Incubus. The goddess next door gets enthralled in a romantic entanglement with an evil incubus in this all-new Isis series adventure. Get your copy of Isis, Dark Incubus in paperback and e-readers today. An upstate New York man was arrested and charged with arson for allegedly burning down the home of a father of a New York State trooper who allegedly issued him a traffic ticket.
A shocking alleged act of revenge targeting a New York State trooper. Investigators say a man, angry about getting traffic tickets, set fire to a home belonging to the trooper's father. CBS 2's Tony Aiello has this story now from Warwick in Orange County.
It's incomprehensible to think that we would be targeted and our families and our homes would be targeted.
The Warwick police chief sharing law enforcement outrage at the alleged actions of 26-year-old Tyler Williams. A felony complaint charges Williams with arson. The Orange County DA says last December, hours after a trooper ticketed Williams,
he researched the trooper's name, found an address in Warwick, and went to that house to intentionally start the fire.
Almost 5 months later, workers are still repairing the damage. The trooper's father and other family members escaped without injury. Before charging Williams, investigators obtained multiple search warrants, many of them for computer and smartphone records. Podcast host Phil Grimaldi is a retired NYPD detective.
You're walking around leaving a digital footprint when you carry a cell phone. When you go online, if you access your computer, you're leaving that same, so to speak, electronic fingerprint.
In Warwick, there's relief at the arrest and disbelief over the alleged crime.
My son-in-law is NYPD, and they are concerned, police officers are often concerned about people trying to take revenge, but doing it against his father, that is really the lowest of low.
Tyler Williams made a brief court appearance Wednesday and was ordered held without bail. I contacted his legal aid attorney and his girlfriend for comment. Haven't heard back. In Orange County, Tony Aiello, CBS 2 News.
Now, in this alleged incident that took place in Warwick, New York, 26-year-old Tyler Williams was stopped by New York State troopers in relation to a traffic stop. And after this officer stopped Tyler Williams in this traffic stop, he gave him a series of traffic tickets as related to infractions on the road, as related to moving violations. And after receiving these tickets, Tyler Williams seethed and boiled in anger as he went home and hours later did a search on the internet of the officer who gave him the ticket and somehow found the address that he believed that the officer lived. And as he found this address, he then went to the home that he believed of this officer and went to that home and allegedly started a fire that wound up not destroying the home of the officer, but wound up allegedly destroying the home of the officer's father. Now, after this fire was put out, and thank God the officer's father escaped without injury, the police did an investigation and then eventually wound up contacting Williams and arresting him for this crime. Now, the New York State Police see this as an isolated incident, but when I take a critical examination of the alleged actions of Tyler Williams, they fit the pattern and profile for beta males that I talk about in my book, The Man Crisis. And it's clear to me that Tyler Williams is one of these beta males who is not used to dealing with male authority or male authority figures, because his behavior in the presence of authority figures like a law enforcement officer from the New York State Troopers basically just shows how out of control this individual was. And when it comes to beta males, they have a real serious problem with male authority and male authority figures, especially when those male authority figures confront them, because when it comes to a beta male, they don't see a man in his natural leadership role that God gives him to respect him. No, they see a male authority figure as less than them, and they believe that this is their right to defy them. Now, this white male basically, in some cases, I would say, was participating in one of the worst cases of white privilege and believing that because he was white, he didn't have to respect the law and the authority of the law. And because he believed he didn't have to respect the authority of the law of a male authority figure, he seethed and boiled in anger on his way home after getting this traffic ticket. And instead of him going out here and navigating through his emotions, where he had feelings about getting this ticket and looking to make a plan to fight it in traffic court, what Tyler Williams allegedly did, which was really insane, was as he was seething and boiling in anger about getting this ticket, he then escalated his behavior to basically criminal levels by going on the internet to go search for this officer's name on the internet, and then looking to go after he got the information regarding where he thought this officer lived to go plan his revenge. But this is par for the course with beta males, because beta males do not think critically. No, beta males in most cases feel as related to emotions and do not think. And whenever a beta male is angry, what they do is, because they don't have male life skills to navigate through their emotions, what these men do is they act on their impulses, and as they act impulsively, what they do is don't think about the consequences of their actions as they go out here and make their plans for revenge based on emotion. And what happened here with Tyler Williams is that after he got this ticket, he was seething in anger and really just so angry about getting this ticket that he acted on his emotions impulsively to go on the internet to look for the address of the officer to get this revenge. And as he looked to get this revenge on this officer, he basically made a bad situation worse by looking to go to the home of this officer and make this plan to get revenge to sate his feelings, never really thinking critically about the consequences of his actions. No, what Tyler Williams allegedly wanted to do was get even with this officer, and as he looked to get even with this officer, what he did was go out here and allegedly buy some accelerants, spray it on the home of the officer's father, and as he sprayed this accelerant on the home, it basically set fire to the officer's father's home, and this basically led to the home being set on fire, and thank God the father and people were able to escape before they wound up getting harmed. But unfortunately, what happened here to Tyler Williams is he did more harm to himself than he ever did to that officer, because now that he is being charged with arson, a felony here in the state of New York, he's basically put himself on a road to losing more than a couple of dollars on a traffic ticket, and he's going to wind up losing the most important intangible to his life, and that intangible is his freedom. That's what Tyler Williams wound up sacrificing in this plan for revenge, in this plan to get revenge at a member of law enforcement for simply doing their job. This male basically acted, again, impulsively on his feelings, and wound up putting the most important intangible a man has in his life, his freedom, in jeopardy, all to look to sate his feelings for a moment. But he may wind up going to jail for an extended period of time before he gets put on trial, and then will possibly, if he is convicted, wind up being sentenced to prison for going out here and looking to do harm to a member of law enforcement, which is already a reprehensible offense. And he will also do time for looking to do damage to attempting to murder this officer. Again, this is a series of behaviors that are extremely dangerous. And again, this man is going from being a man who would have had his freedom over and basically could have just paid these traffic tickets or fought them in court and basically got the whole fine reduced. He took a simple situation that could have easily been solved and turned it into a major felony, all because he was in his emotions regarding getting this ticket and feeling slighted about getting this ticket. And he's basically turned this into a serious felony where he could be doing years in jail and prison with Bubba, Tiny, Roscoe, Big Dave, Melvin, and Mr. Sprinkles. And he's going from being a guy who was free driving a vehicle to a guy who's going to be getting a train driven inside of his front side and his backside if he's convicted. And he will go from a guy who was driving on the road to taking a train from Bubba, Tiny, Roscoe, Big Dave, Melvin, and Mr. Sprinkles, who will trade him for Little Debbie snack cakes, ramen noodles, packets of Crystal Light lemonade, packets of Crystal Light tea, Taster's Choice coffee, off-brand lemonade, off-brand fruit punch, off-brand grape drink, off-brand apple juice, off-brand Tang, and off-brand Oreo cookies, off-brand duplex cookies, off-brand vanilla wafers, off-brand ginger snaps, off-brand sugar wafers, Hunt snack pack pudding, Kit Kat candy bars, Fritos chips, prison chips, packets of dried beef, chicken, and tuna. And as he's traded for all of these items on the commissary, Mr. Sprinkles will come in after turning the tight end into a wide receiver and wind up spraying the front side and the back side with his special sauce, and they will be taking him and splitting the cheeks open and showing the backside looking like the inside of a glazed donut. And after suffering those humiliations in prison, this dude will basically be forced to wash the skid marks out of the jockey drawers of Bubba, Tiny, Roscoe, Big Dave, Melvin, and Mr. Sprinkles. And as he's hoping, wishing, and praying that somebody will put some money on his books, he will realize that he basically threw away the most important intangibles of his manhood, like his dignity, self-respect, and most importantly, his freedom, all in an effort to try to sate some feelings as related to revenge against a member of law enforcement. And the reason why he mostly wanted that revenge was primarily because he was really upset about a male authority figure telling him what to do, and that's what really upset and triggered this male. Basically, he was upset because a male authority figure in this police officer had the audacity to tell him what to do, and because he thought he was white and male, no male authority figure should tell him what to do. And that's where this male basically started his road to being a man who's going to have a crisis inside of the penitentiary, because again, setting fire to the home of a police officer's father, in a quest to get revenge for somebody who gave you a traffic ticket, basically shows that this male had no regard for male authority, no regard for the law, and is participating in a disturbing trend I'm seeing with a lot of males who really don't understand how to deal with situations where you are confronted by authority figures such as law enforcement, and knowing how to navigate through your emotions in those situations. And this guy's behavior basically showed that this guy had no male life skills such as critical thinking or problem solving or the ability to navigate through your emotions, because any smart man in this same situation would understand, yes, this is an officer of the law, and if they are giving me tickets I feel are wrong, what I'm supposed to do is put in a dispute process with the people in the courts, and as I put in those disputes, I dispute those points inside of a court of law, because yes, the person gave you a ticket, but you are innocent until proven guilty, and you still have an opportunity to get your day in court. But because this male did not have the discipline or the patience to be able to look to dispute this case in a court, what he did was look to make his own court of law, where he looked not to get justice but to get vengeance. And as he looked to get vengeance, he basically put himself on a road to going from just having to pay a few $100s in a series of fines to looking to lose one of the most important intangibles a man has in life, that is time. I mean, he would have lost a little bit of time in a traffic court, but now he's got to spend more time inside of a criminal court and may spend more time in a county jail and even a prison, all because this man, again, didn't get the proper male life skills or was raised with the proper male life skills to be able to know how to conflict and problem resolve. And because he didn't know how to do these things, he went from being a man who had his freedom to winding up becoming a man who's on his road to being in crisis, possibly if he's convicted for looking to do harm to police officers. He's looking to become a man who's on his way to becoming a man in crisis. Now, if you want to learn what motivates beta males to participate in this pattern and spectrum of violent behaviors and think that this getting revenge on people like police officers is a solution to problems and what motivates these males to, again, go on this course of violence, you can pick up my book, The Man Crisis, on Amazon.com in paperback and Kindle format. You can also find The Man Crisis at other online booksellers like Draft to Digital, Google Play, Barnes & Noble, and you can also find it at big box retailers like Walmart and Target. And if you'd like to see me make more videos about The Man Crisis, you can send a donation to the Patreon, the PayPal, or the Cash App by clicking the links in the description box. That's all I have to say for this video. You can comment, rate, and subscribe. Coming to paperback and e-readers, Esteem Horror in the Hamptons. The aspiring angel tries to escape a house of horrors in this all-new Esteem series adventure. Pre-order your copy of Esteem Horror in the Hamptons in digital format at Amazon.com, Google Play, Draft to Digital, and other digital booksellers, or pick up your paperback copy on May 24th. Now available in paperback and e-readers, John Haynes' Illuminati, the man who rules the world, takes on the head of the global elite in this all-new action-packed John Haynes series adventure. Get your copy of John Haynes' Illuminati in paperback and e-readers at Amazon.com and online booksellers everywhere. Support Black-owned and Black-operated digital broadcast media. www.niceradionetwork.com. Nice Radio Network, broadcasting 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.